So, season 1 of the Dime Drop Deep Dive, I think we might call it D4, is in the books. What a learning experience. People often ask me about NBA draft grades. I have reservations for a few reasons. Mainly, my biggest problem with NBA draft grades is it's essentially the equivalent of saying that you've seen the future. What really is the point? To me, all you're really doing is restating your mock draft or your big board. It'd be like solidifying plans in the morning and then immediately going,
I've made a huge mistake.
Like, how the hell are you gonna know that you've made a mistake if you haven't executed the plans yet? It's really hard to know what these guys are going to do in the league. If Knicks fans graded the 2015 draft, what might they have said? How about the Cavs in 2013? The Raptors in 2006? The Wizards in 2011?
Kyle, suck my...
Sorry for those painful memories, everyone. I'm just saying, if anything, we should grade the draft with some perspective, and perspective is nurtured by the loving hand of time. We'll revisit these picks after seeing how things have shaken out a little bit, but for now, we look forward. This list is likely going to change. That happens every year, but here are some of the characters to become familiar with for season 2. The Maple Leaf Maverick, the King in the North. I don't know, just trying to get some nickname discussion started there. RJ Barrett is a physical, explosive athlete that can dominate both sides of the ball with his relentless energy. He's got good size and build for an NBA wing at 6'7" and 200 pounds. A lefty that can finish with either hand, Barrett attacks the rim consistently and relentlessly. His handle and his jumper are both coming along, but he's good in transition and he excels at taking it off the rim and getting up and down. Aside from having great measurables and skills, the thing that sticks out the most to me is Barrett's wiring as a player and as a person. He's not only the best player in his class, he's the clear leader. He's like Russell Westbrook meets Andre Iguodala. He's not quite as fiery as Russell, but he's pretty fiery. If someone wants his spot, they're gonna have to take it because I don't see him fading away or giving it up.
You come at the king, you best not miss.
Cam Reddish is a 6'7", 200-pound wing, exactly like his Duke counterpart RJ Barrett from Norristown, Pennsylvania. He actually played some high school basketball with Mo Bamba. Reddish is a smooth, long athlete that has that effortless athleticism that you see in elite wings. He gets to the rim and finishes well with either hand. He's a really creative finisher with a lot of stuff in his bag. The shot mechanics, though, are a little strange and a little jerky, and that's a concern for me going forward. People often talk about him as a high-level shooter from 3 like that's some kind of a given thing, but I have my concerns about that at the next level and beyond. Rui Hachimura has the chance to become something rare, a Japanese-born player in the NBA. Rui is a highly intriguing prospect currently starring at Gonzaga. At 6'8" and 225 pounds with a 7'2" wingspan, he's an impressively long and fluid athlete with the ever-increasing ability to space the floor with his shooting. Hachimura has the athleticism and the length to be a highly switchable player in the NBA, capable of guarding up to 4 positions. If he could block some shots, I could really see Rui as a candidate to be a great small ball 5, but he has a tendency to disappear for stretches. That said, the glimpses of potential are there, and Rui's stock could fluctuate in the coming year based on his consistency. Watching Sekou play, both Michael Petrus and shades of Paul George come to mind. Doumbouya is a very loose and fluid Guinea-born athlete with a great feel for the game and massive potential on both sides of the ball. He's got great size for an NBA wing at 6'9", and he's solidly built at 230 pounds. Sekou is a streaky shooter who seems like he could become a legit threat from deep, already showing some ability to hit deep shots off the dribble. He's crafty and quick in transition, and he can take it off the rim and go. Defensively, he's still learning to stay engaged and aggressive, but Doumbouya is one of the more fascinating guys to watch this upcoming year, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's near the top of the draft come next year. When I watch Quentin Grimes, I see a lot of young Darren Williams. Both guys will have played college basketball for Bill Self, interestingly enough. The Kansas signee is a big, skilled guard at 6'5" that can run an offense or play off the ball because of his scoring ability. He's not a blow-you-out-of-the-gym athlete, but he occasionally surprises with big-time finishes, and he has a good understanding of angles. He's also great at using his size, and he gets guards on his back to create offense for himself and for others. I have questions about his commitment to defense and his ability ability to be a truly two-way player, but Grimes has a great frame. He could probably put on a lot of weight and get a whole lot stronger, and I think his skill set's going to be a real problem for opponents in the future. If for some reason, God forbid, Charles Barkley and Vince Carter had a love child, it would likely look something like Zion Williamson. Arguably the most famous amateur athlete of the social media era. People rightly focus on the big finishes, and they are well documented, but at 6'6" and 250 pounds with a 6'10" wingspan and a supposed 46-inch vertical, which is bananas, Zion is a bona fide physical freak, but I'm especially intrigued by Zion's potential as a defender with that athleticism. He makes otherworldly weak side shot contests, and if he's so inclined, he can dominate the backboard. His offensive skills, shooting the ball beyond the lane, are a little shaky, which should come as no surprise for somebody with such abnormal physical advantages. Luka, like we got another intriguing European prospect on our hands. I'm sorry. Samanic, a Croatian, is a skilled stretch 4 at 6'11", with a solid foundation of offensive skill. In a lot of ways, he brings Dragan Bender to mind, another Croatian, but he's shown the ability to step out and shoot from deep, and moves surprisingly well for a guy his size. There are questions about his build and his motor. He's also a bit wiry, and he struggles to compete around the rim physically, and people also wonder if he's even going to submit his name for the 2019 draft. He switched leagues recently, and he's going to face better competition in the coming year against grown men. So we're going to learn a lot about Luka in the coming year, but he's a talented kid to keep an eye on. Garland is a lightning-quick 6'2" point guard who's set to star at Vanderbilt this upcoming year under Bryce Drew. I've always thought Bryce Drew kind of looked like a Southern Baptist preacher. He'd speak from the pulpit with like a really hushed voice. It is so wonderful to have our guests here today, and that was a moving rendition of How Great Thou Art, Miss Regina. Now we're going to take an offering. I admit that I'm pretty high on Darius. He's a talented scorer with a ton of off-the-boogie dribble, and he has a very quick release with great range out to the college and likely NBA 3. He's not the same type of physical guard, but he has that same herky-jerky, shake-you movement scoring style that reminds me of Kemba Walker. He shows signs of some high-level playmaking, but size-wise, I think he's going to face a lot of the same problems and questions that plagued Trae Young. They're actually kind of similar players, but I think we could see him sneak up the boards as the year goes along. Bol Bol is the son of, correctamundo, the legend, Manute Bol. Bol the Younger is not quite the physical presence that his father was, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm sad to report that he is a puny, diminutive 7'3" with a minuscule 7'8" wingspan and just a pathetic 9'7" standing reach. Bol is a near novelty with his soft shooting touch out to the 3 and his ability to run the floor. He's like Bamba in the fact that he's weak in his lower and upper body, but he's also a very effective rim protector when he's engaged in the game, like a lot of these guys. Engaged seems to be the crux of the criticisms involving Bol. He doesn't get as many weak side blocks as you would expect, and there are stretches where you go, why isn't the 7'3" guy more involved? Scouts wonder if he'll ever be motivated enough to become the player that he can, and if some rigid structure and discipline would go a long way for his development. Still, his physical gifts are rare and his potential is massive. Langford is another highly touted and well-known high school prospect. He's a versatile, skilled guard that signed with Indiana and set to play for Archie Miller. Langford is a smooth, playmaking wing with a deliberate and laid-back style. Does a lot of things well without ever really seeming like he's trying all that hard. He brings good size at 6'6", and it'll be interesting to see how much of a playmaking role he takes on at IU. Bits of Harrison Barnes and Jeremy Lamb's in terms of on-floor temperament. PJ is a 6'10", 200-pound power forward with a soft shooting stroke. He's also a dark horse contender to climb the board during this college basketball season. He'll join a fairly loaded Kentucky roster for 2019, and because of their tough schedule, we're going to get plenty of opportunities to see him square off against quality competition, which will make for good tape. I made the point in one of my first deep dives that EJ is actually a hybrid of two player types that you rarely see. You usually see one or the other. He's a highly skilled stretch 4-5 with exceptional vision for his size. Hey folks, I appreciate you watching, and if you like this video, click the like button and be sure to subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter at @JKyleMann. Say hey.